Logan Aldridge's motto is about going beyond expectations, going beyond what people not only expect from you, but going beyond what people think you are capable of. This young man's incredible story about perseverance, adaptation, and determination has something to teach us all. On the evening of June 26, 2004, 13-year-old Logan was wakeboarding with his family on Lake Gaston in Virginia. All of a sudden, the rope around his left arm became entangled in the propeller of the boat, cutting his arm to the bone. After doctors attempted to save the arm, they were left with no choice but to amputate. During his recovery, Logan decided he would not let this traumatic event affect his life. As soon as he was able to, he got back in the water, eager and determined to continue doing what he loved. He not only kept wakeboarding, but he also continued to play lacrosse for Ravenscroft High School. Adapting to the challenges of losing an arm came natural to Logan. "I had no other choice," he said. He also continues to compete annually in the elite division for wakeboarding in the Extremity Games. Logan has developed into a passionate public speaker who is compelled to share his story and talk about his experiences. Now, 10 years after the accident, Logan lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, where he is pursuing a degree in business at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. You could just take us back to that day in 2004.
So June 26, 2004 was a day like any other day at Lake Gaston for me and my family. My family is big-time skiers. We have a wakeboard boat, and just finished wakeboarding like I normally do any other day. With the boat just being in gear, I began to pull in the rope. With the end of the rope being connected to the wakeboard tower, I look back and notice that the rope has drifted underneath the boat, which happens sometimes in wakeboarding. It's a pain, but you deal with it, and you dive under there and you untangle it or whatever the situation may be. When I looked back and noticed the rope was underneath the boat, I had already looped about 2 loops over my thumb under the elbow, doing that perfect circle as you do with an extension cord or a garden hose, you know, just to wind it up neatly. When I did that and saw that it was underneath the boat, I turned to my dad and said, "Dad, rope's underneath the boat, it happens." As soon as I told him that, in that split second when he heard and was going to turn off the boat, the prop caught the rope, causing it to tighten. So when that propeller caught that rope, with the other end being connected to the tower and me and my arm being the only thing in between the two with 2 loops around it, there was a very strong force, quick force, that pulled that rope tight and made that rope slip off of my thumb and cinched down around my bicep and tricep, my whole arm. And when it did, it cinched so tight, it cut through everything down to the bone.
Logan was left-handed, and he was forced to relearn how to do simple things again, like writing with his right hand. He has developed techniques for things like getting dressed, brushing his teeth, and tying shoes, which is a real challenge with only one hand. What were some of the challenges that you were immediately faced with?
They told me that they didn't think I would be able to write again, so I immediately started writing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looked like some chicken scratch. You couldn't read it, but I was going, while still in the hospital, I was writing the alphabet, trying to, it was actually my mom's birthday while in the hospital, and I remember trying to write "Happy Birthday, Mom" on the card, you know, and little things like that. I knew I had to try. I knew that I could write again. Somebody told me I can't do something. Well, I'm not going to take their word for it, ever. I have to prove to myself, determine on my own if that's true or not. But it was also important to show others that I was going to be the same person I was before. That was most important. That was the thing I feared the most, was having other people treat me differently after this accident, thinking that I was now handicapped. So I didn't allow can't to be a part of my vocabulary. There was no can't. Nothing was impossible. It was just, I am possible. How am I going to do this? It's going to be different, and it's going to be challenging, and there will be plenty of failures, but how do you overcome them? And that's what was important.
What was it that motivated you at such a young age?
Like I said, the motivation was to prove to myself that I was the same person as I was before. To show others, not, oh, Logan can do anything, Logan's great now, but to show them too, well, you can do anything you want to do. Don't let something that happens or other people's expectations be prejudgments on what you're capable of.
So you don't feel limited at all?
Not one bit. Maybe in clapping. That's one thing I can't do that well. I don't clap. You know, I do the little leg slap, but that's about it. Other than that, cut my fingernails, tie my shoes, whatever. It doesn't matter.
You have a prosthetic arm that you use. What's that like? Because you were saying you just got it 3 months ago. You've gone 10 years without one. What's it like now having a prosthetic?
Yes. Going to the extremity games and meeting other amputees who are living their lives and using these prosthetics in ways that are amazing, I was inspired and motivated and realized that my stubbornness needed to be pushed aside, and the best thing for me to do would be to pursue obtaining a prosthetic. The way that it functions is purely based on my body movements. There's no electronics, there's no batteries, there's no motors or anything. It's purely a cable system, and the cable that runs from the hand or the claw, as you see here, up and back around my arm underneath this harness that comes underneath my good arm here. And I just got this arm about 4 months ago. So I went about 9.5 years doing nothing on my left side. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. I babied my left side, and I did 100% effort on my right arm and right shoulder. So over time, I had a lot of muscle atrophy. A lot of tendons started to deteriorate a little bit. They're not gone. They're still there, but they're very weak. So once I was able to put the arm on, I noticed that the reason for it being a body-powered arm is it using your body. So I had to start using my shoulder and my pec to get it to work. I've noticed a lot more strength starting to develop on my left side. It's been extremely useful in weightlifting and exercising. It's helped correct my posture a little bit, because as I grew older throughout the past 9 years, I started to realize I'm not going to stay young forever. If I can transition any effort from my right to my left side, that's a bonus. Maybe even if it's only 10%, 90, 10% over here, that's a huge improvement than 100% here all the time. So when I heard about these body-powered arms, as they call them, I was all about it, because not only did it give me an opportunity to work out my left side and be able to use my muscles to help the arm come up or to open the hand and close the hand, but also it gave me functionality. I would then have a device that I could use to carry groceries, or when I have something in my hand to open the door with, or, you know, tearing paper towel off paper towel roll, little things like that.
So what kept you from quitting wakeboarding and just saying, you know, maybe I shouldn't do this again?
After the amputation and getting out of the hospital, going back and visiting with the doctor, checking up on the wound, checking up on everything, I would ask him, so when can I get back in the water? For me, there was no option. Quitting wasn't an option. It wasn't in my vocabulary when it comes to that. Same with lacrosse. And I knew these things weren't going to come easy. I knew there were going to be many frustrating days, many frustrating times, but it was never going to be, I quit. Never.
I'd kind of do a quick step, and just like I was about to just rip one. And so they would start to approach, you know, coming down with their stick. And I had it down to a science. I don't know if it's because my other arm wasn't there that I could do this faster.
During his junior and senior year of high school, Logan was a key component for the varsity lacrosse team, awarding him North Carolina All-State honors and a feature in Lacrosse magazine. Logan began traveling to speak at lacrosse camps up and down the East Coast, teaching kids the true meaning of perseverance.
I would like to introduce to you Logan Aldridge.
Logan has an innate ability to speak with his peers and inspire them through his amazing story. He often surprises a lot of people with his amazing abilities.
They'd ask me, they'd be like, so you can actually shoot with one arm? I'm like, hell yeah, I can shoot, man. I can shoot like 85-mile-an-hour shot. They're like, no way, dude.
You have an organization, Beyond Expectations. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization?
My mom realized after the accident, people would approach me, more specifically young kids, as I would if I saw an amputee, and they would ask, you know, what happened? Oh my gosh, what happened? She noticed that I was extremely comfortable talking about it. She was worried that, you know, that would be a sensitive subject, which for a lot of people it is. But to me, it was totally open. I loved the fact that people would ask. I was more than happy to share my story. That's when we coined the term Beyond Expectations. It was a perfect fit, you know, with what that meant, with what those two words represent, and with when you abbreviate it, what BE means, you know, just be yourself. Be you. Beyond expectations, like I told you, my definition of it, expectations are prejudgments that we place on one another, which limits your potential. So going beyond that was critical in what I was trying to do with myself and show others, inspire others, but also for everybody to have that attitude with everyday life. And if you do, you're destined for success. You're destined for greatness. It's guaranteed.